Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of Colorway Wednesday. As always, I'm your host, Joylyn Sawyer, your Princess of America, Miss Ozark Ambassador. And today we've got a very complicated coloring sheet. It's not complicated so much as it's elaborate. Yeah, we're going to go with that. So this is by Sarah Titus. I believe if you look up that name and like coloring sheet or blog or something along those lines, you will find her blog where she has all sorts of DIYs, craft ideas, stuff like that. But primarily, I pulled a coloring sheet from there. Today, we're going to do something really fun. Hopefully, we'll see if it works. So I got the tub of crayons making a return. And then we're going to try wax melting tonight. So it's when you draw with crayons and you use a hairdryer and you try to melt the wax together. We're going to see how it works. In my test run, it didn't work how I thought it would. But ultimately, I think this might just be a let's just test it out, shall we? Sorry, my shirt is off center. There we go. All right. Yeah. I chose this one because I like the silly little duckies. I think they're cute. But with that being said, all right. Welcome to 22. We're on 22, right? Yeah. Week 22 of Colorway Wednesday. Crazy. There's been a lot of these. There has been a lot of these. It's been fun. I don't know why I'm pre-selecting my colors. I mean, might as well, One of the charms of Colorway Wednesday is how a lot of things go wrong before Colorway Wednesday typically, which is okay. It's genuinely oh no, the way I was planning on printing this out doesn't work. Like today, I was planning on actually watercoloring this. And then my mom and I had the fun revelation of, oh, my watercolor paper doesn't actually, the margins are too big for this printer. And I was like, that's fine. I'll just trim it down even more, whatever. It'll be all good. And so I trim it down more, and then we try to make it work, and then it just doesn't go. And then we realize, the paper's too thick. So we veered course. We redirected. We set our sights on a new path. And now we are here with crayons and maybe an attempt at wax melting. No matter what, because my test run, one of the biggest changes I noticed, because I realized when I was halfway through, I should have taken a before and after picture. So I'd be able to tell if it really made that much of a difference. The biggest difference I noticed in my little mail swatch, this is a piece of mail, is that it made it where it integrated with the paper more nicely. So it's smoother, but it doesn't look a lot different from what I noticed. So we shall see. But I thought, might as well get a little more experimental on the show, shall we? Could be fun though. I hope everyone's been having a great week. Happy Father's Day to those who celebrated Father's Day. There's so many suns. Okay, there's only 2 suns on here, actually. Never mind, I lied. There's not so many suns, quote unquote. I was talking with our guest for next week earlier today, which you'll have to tune in next week to figure out who our guest is. But I was talking with her earlier today, and she pointed out that we are at 25 days until nationals, which kind of has me shivering in my boots and shaking in my timbers. And that's okay, because I know I'm prepared. And even when I'm not prepared, I'm going to tell myself I am, because confidence is key, I guess. I do not anticipate finishing this coloring sheet on the stream tonight. Just want to go ahead and put it out there because I do try to cap off at an hour, even if it is just me, because it's great to indulge in creative outlets, and it's also great to eat dinner and go to bed at a decent time. So we're gonna do that. But goodness, what can we talk about? True. Yes, Diva. Yes, Diva. All right. I'm gonna make our bubbles. I'm gonna be really loud for a second here, so I apologize in advance on behalf of the mic. Maybe a little longer than a second. It's gonna be really funny if I watch this back and there was like no sound that entire time, and I'm like, guys, it's gonna get really loud. Guys, audio warning. And it's just like the quietest, faintest rustling in the background. That would be so funny. That's awesome. All right. This seems like the lightest blue I have, so we're going to use that for these bubbles. Hope everyone's summer's been going well. Well, we're talking about summer. Make sure to check out your local library's summer reading. I know that the Oklahoma City metropolitan area and like the metropolitan library system, they do a big summer event every year. I need to actually like log the books I've been reading, because I've been reading a lot. I just haven't been logging my hours in the summer reading program, because I log it on. I have a little book track app where I keep track of like all the books I've borrowed from libraries or friends, and then also like all the books that I own. So then that way, if I'm like, oh, I think I have this book, but I'm not sure, rather than like hoping someone's at my house and texting them being like, oh my gosh, hey, check my bookshelf right now. No, we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. So, but I like to log my books on there, and then since I have a Kindle and I've been reading on my Kindle a lot, you can connect it to your Goodreads account. So I've technically been like logging some of my books on Goodreads as well. I've been logging most of it. I just don't log it as much because like I mainly keep track of my reading just for me. As much as I love the like gamification of things, like I am a big fan. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on here before, but I love the app called Letterboxd. It's essentially social media, but just for talking about movies you watched recently. Magnificent. It's so funny. Because like very few people take it like seriously, so it's not like you get like random status updates, like whatever, like I don't know. It's so funny. I like to check it every couple of days and just see what my friends have been watching, because they'll log stuff and then put just absolutely goofy comments on the film or something like that, or be like, you know what, actually this was amazing and everyone else is wrong. It's a beautiful platform. If you enjoy movies, I highly recommend it. Pretty sure my Letterboxd is something along the lines of Sparks Joy, if you want to follow me on there. I've been watching the Harry Potter movies for the first time, which has been an experience because I feel like I have vicariously not lived through them, but I think I've like vicariously lived through watching them with how much I've heard from other people. So it's really funny because I'm watching them with people who have seen them before. It's really funny. Like I tend to try to predict outcomes of films or moments in TV shows and stuff like that, as most people do. And with Harry Potter, it's just such an interesting scape because it's like it's so different from our world, but at the same time there's certain like terms and like creatures from the series that are like mainstream, I guess. I don't know how else to word it, but it's like they're not secret. They're not you have to like know the series pretty well. Like, because I'm going to be real, if you ask me to tell you anything from Lord of the Rings, I can tell you there's hobbits. Yeah, that's about it. I know there's hobbits and elves. There's elves. I remember that. I read The Hobbit in high school. I've never read Lord of the Rings or watched it. And that's okay. I did like The Hobbit, though, actually. Let me clarify. I did quite enjoy that book. Whoa. I always forget how much crayons lie. Like, this looks like it would be green. I know you can't see it super well, but it definitely looks like it should be green. And then I just colored a palm tree leaf, and it's just blue. It's just straight up blue. Oh, wait, actually, but mixing those two together is cool. And that's what we call a happy little accident. But as I was saying, it's been a very interesting experience because genuinely, I know enough people who really love Harry Potter, and I know enough, like, I'm on the internet. I'm on the internet. So it's like there are certain things that I'm like, oh yeah, well obviously this is gonna happen and I know about this, but then I'm like, okay, well I have no clue what's happening right now. Goodness gracious. We are 13 minutes in. Here's my progress so far. Cute. I'm just having to be like really decisive, which I kind of like. Because if I go, well, what color do I want this to be, and debate on it for too long, we're going to be here forever, dude. We're going to like get done with the live stream and I'm not even halfway done with this coloring page, which would be hilarious, actually. In retrospect, that would be kind of awesome. Coloring the little leggies in. I'm coloring a crab right now. I'm coloring him like a typical blue. Is there not another crab? There is another crab. Rejoice, guys. There's another crab. I'm going to make this crab blue. No. I'm going to make this crab purple. Yeah, purple crab. I think he's a crab. He's a different type of crab, at least. Oh, no, wait. Maybe that's a lobster and this is a crab. I don't know. I'm going to use those words too much on the stream, aren't I? All right, got our little purple crabby crab guy. I'm going to make his little tummy tum blue. Oh, yeah, that's fun. Okay, and then I'm going to make this shell purple. I will say, whenever it comes to my coloring page research tonight, because I know typically I have a couple of random little facts, I did also find next week's coloring sheet today, so I am getting some of the information mixed up in my little brain, which is okay, but just like full transparency. I know I bookmarked both the websites, but as always, the coloring sheets that I use on the show, just a little disclaimer for anyone who may be watching for their first time. The coloring sheets I use on the show are they are all free on these artists' websites. So if you were to happen to look up things that you would lead you to this artist's website. You would be able to access it yourself. I highly recommend checking out previous artists that we've had on the show. Genuinely, we have a lot of very, very talented people making human coloring pages, and I highly recommend looking into it because it's very fun. Whoa! This is crazy. This crayon, this is from an old Tinkerbell crayon set I had, is like a deep forest green. And then I put it on here and it's like a minty green. What? I understand the pigmentation of crayons can get wonky, but I don't know. I'm never emotionally prepared for whatever may ensue whenever I'm coloring with a crayon, and it just is a completely crazy color. Right. We're gonna try this one for the seaweed. Okay, well that's just icky green brown. That's not really what we're going for, is it? We'll keep it. But we're gonna layer a different color on it. Ooh, there we go. Anytime I see things that are aquatic themed, it always makes me think of the hit show H2O, Just Add Water. If you don't know that show, you really should. You're missing out, man. It is a classic. All right. Okay. Progress so far again. This one's actually really satisfying. It's really fun, seeing the different increments of progress. Because it just feels so noticeable since there's so much all over the page. I highly recommend this. It's pretty fun. That's another disclaimer, heads up, info drop, I guess. Another little tidbit of information is if you ever want to go and see previous episodes, coloring pages, I am working on getting it to where I can actually link the file for the coloring page Google Drive in the description of all these episodes. But in the meantime, you can find it on my Instagram. If you go to the highlights, there's a section titled Colorway. Just click on that, or that's on my personal pageant account. Click on that, click through it, because it's got all my different finished pieces on there. And then once you click through that, you should find something that's hey, interested in seeing other coloring pages or seeing previous episodes. They literally every single week, whenever I pick whatever coloring page we're doing, I put it in that one drive. So it will literally have from for example, today, if you accessed it, it would have today's episode all the way to episode 1. And they're all numerically organized, and it tells you the artist and website, typically, that I got it from, or it indicates somewhere, and as well as has the name the artist gave the work. But yeah. Fun stuff, man. We got all sorts of stuff going on. I have a very, very exciting pageant appearance coming up before Nationals next month, which, depending on my schedule, either you guys will hear about it just after it happened, or you guys will be getting a pre-recorded episode that week. But we'll figure it out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little head. All right. So I have so many shells on here. 'Cause I'm no ordinary girl. So true, Diva. Honestly, I don't think enough people have seen that show. I know a lot of people who have seen that show, and I still just, I think a lot of people deserve that positivity in their lives. Trust, the second my nephew is like 7, I'm making him watch the show. Like, he would eat that up. He's so Lewis core. For context, my nephew is like fresher. I just threw a crayon. That's okay. I'll pick it up later. I have a couple of others. You can't see it right now. I kind of have crayons sprawled out everywhere. Let me... The workstation. It's pretty gnarly. In a good way, though. So like I said, we've got plenty of crayons. I should start all guest episodes from now on with just showing the guest my bucket of these and go, what do you think these are? And figure out if they say it crayons or crowns. Crowns or crayons. I always called them crowns as a kid, but now I'm like old and annoying and I like things to be phonetically correct. So it's like, well, no, it says crayons, so therefore it's crayons. My major building in undergrad, people loved to add an in like the middle of it where there was not an in. Drove me nuts, dude. I was about to say mad, wild, and nuts all at the same time. I'm not sure what would have happened there, but crisis averted. We have a lot of purple shells on this coloring page, but at the same time, like, there's already a lot of blues and yellows. Not any orange, though. Let's fix that. Let's add some orange. Can I get an orange in the chat? For Nationals Prep, ambassador stuff, like our materials for ambassador, is due this next Wednesday. So not this week, but in a week. Quite exciting. There's also the Be Like Olivia essay contest due, and I believe spotlight pages. I have a Google Calendar for deadlines, even the deadlines that don't apply to me, because I share it with people if they want to use it. I don't think many people do, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, that's their prerogative, man. Okay. This is going both faster than I thought and not. Progress so far. Okay. I keep gravitating towards blues. There are so many crayon colors. Why am I going for only one? What are we doing, Diva? I'm like only going for blues, greens, and purples. And yellows, obviously, but we're gonna make this fish this color. Yeah, that's a cool fish. There's what I was looking for. Trying to color all the things of sand the same color roughly. Just for continuity's sake. Not that it needs to be continuously consistent, but I cannot hold a crayon for the life of me suddenly. Guys, I'm really nervous. Okay. New Spider-Man movie comes out next month. Very hype. I need to rewatch the last one. In the Tom Holland iteration, not the Spider-Verse iteration. I do need to rewatch the Spider-Verse iterations, though, because those are magnificent. A fun fact about me is I cry at every Spider-Man movie ever. It is a humbling time, but I'm glad that I have something reliable at keeping me consistent and humble like that. Because goodness, man. Because the thing is, like, I don't cry just at the, like, oh, this really sad thing happened. No, I'll cry whenever there's just a really good shot or something like that. Which is, like I said, humbling. Especially in Across the Spider-Verse. Whoa, Nelly, dude. That movie had me sobbing like a baby in theaters. It was it was rough. It was awesome. It was a good film. But for me personally, it was rough. Peach. This is a very yellow peach. Whoa, it's like an actual skin color. Well, that's a choice. Now I have like a skin color shell. You win some, you lose some. And by lose some, I mean some of them you have a skin colored conch shell. It's not actually a conch. Do you say conch or conch? I've heard people say it both, but I feel like conch is right. But also conch sounds silly whenever I say it out loud. But at the same time, whenever I look at it, I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's right. Why would I ever be foolish and doubt myself? Maybe that's just going to be a thing every single solo episode now, is I'm always going to find one word that I'm like, how do you pronounce this? Because I think last week it was roof/roof, which I still keep thinking about, actually. It's really bothering me. That's such a yellow orange. What? That's like, okay. All right. There we go. Much better. Okay. Cute. Now I need... Crayons are so good at precision. I just tried to color the beak of like a little inflatable duck tube. And I like thought I got it, and it colored just all outside of it. Not even remotely close to the inside. That is crazy work. Let me check this real quick. Oh, goodness gracious. Group chat popping off. And that's okay. I can check it later. Coconut. Coconuts. It's very interesting design choice on this coloring page of like what has a face and what doesn't. Because some of the beach balls do and some of them don't. That's not very good. There we go. I'm going to color in everyone's blush the exact same color. I don't care if they have different complexions. I think that'll make it look more stylized. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so obnoxious and vibrant. I love it. Sunscreen packaging. That's my sunscreen song. Coming soon to theaters near you. Oh, that's a starfish. I was about to be like, why is there a star in this like oceanic coloring page? It's a starfish. Totally just like bonked my almost funny bone. That would have been tragic, actually. Which is interesting considering it's supposed to be funny. I crack myself up. Honestly, at Nationals, I hope one of the judges watches one of these. Instead of interviewing me, they just watch an hour-long live stream solo episode. That'd be crazy. Everyone else gets 2 minutes with the judges, except for Joy. She submitted something in advance. I did not. I did not submit anything. Don't worry, guys. It's not how that works. Color, color, color. Color, 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 color. Okay. I think should be all of my starfishies. And now let me do my ice cream here. I feel like I have so many crowns, but I guess like most of this amalgamation is crowns from like the same types of boxes, which is okay. But it's definitely very interesting being like, oh, okay, well, I just grabbed 3 of the exact same color. And that's okay. Progress update. It's coming along nicely, I think. I want... Oh, goodness. Okay, decision. We are coloring a little outside of the lines today, and that is okay. Kind of the point of the show when you think about it. I should get like background music for the times I just randomly go silent throughout the stream. That'd be wild. Except it's like not actual music. It's just me making instrument sounds. That'd be awesome. I know musicians. I should honestly just get one of my musician friends to like sit in the background of streams and be like, all right, start playing whenever I go silent. But also don't cut me off. That would be such a dumb gig. I love that. All right. And then I'm going to color this parchment. Message in a bottle. There. I feel like there was other parchment somewhere else, but we'll figure that out when we get there. Got a glass of lemonade. All right. Then I need to color the pineapples. Because there's a couple of pineapples around the sheet. Right. We're squirming. We're squirming, guys. Sorry. Listen, you sit in a bar stool for an hour coloring and tell me how it feels. Okay? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get this done on stream. This is going to be awesome. You know, like I was talking about the random things before show going wrong. Fun fact, I accidentally printed 3 of this coloring sheet earlier today because we were trying to, get my watercolor paper to work. And so I guess the printer didn't actually process all of those requests since it didn't actually go through, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I didn't think about it though. So I was like, okay, we're doing normal. So I switched to the normal printer paper. Yes, printer paper. And then I realized, because it just kept going off, and my mom was like, hey, you mean to print 7,000 copies? And I was like, no, I only printed 3, but definitely have a couple extras. And that's okay. I told her, I was like, how funny would it be if I started the stream and was like, guys, this one might take us a little while, but I actually halfway colored one of the sheets, so I show the camera the undone sheet at the beginning, and then I switch it out really early on. Then I'm like, wow, guys, I'm just really good. I'm just so good at coloring, guys. Don't worry, I'm fixing my camera. Sorry, guys. Better. Okay. I feel like a lot of beach bags have fun prints. So I feel like I should do a little, funky. We're not using the peach color again. Actually, no, that would actually look really good for this. Never mind. I feel like a lot of beach bags tend to be a tan color. At least in stores in Oklahoma, they are. I don't think I've gone to the beach in years. All right. There we go. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Then I have this little umbrella. I want to make that one orange, actual orange. Okay, just tried to, there we go. Tried to test the crayon on my hand. Part of the reason crayons are so nice is because they don't really get on the users very easily, which is why it's a commonly associated tool for kids. Because it's really hard for them to make themselves be a little bit of a mess. Whereas paint, that gets everywhere. I need to add that to fun fact, if you ever want to be a guest on here, I have a little handbook I send all the guests that just has general information, answers questions that you might have, all that jazz. And also just ensures I actually give the same amount of information to everyone, no matter how busy I am, because it's oh, perfect. Here's this document that has info for you. We're so golden. 2. I need to add hey, if you're a pageant title holder, please wear your crown and banner. But also if you're going to use paint, don't wear your banner. Because again, I was talking to this next week's guests, and I told her, I was like, hey, I haven't ever actually told anyone this before, but I realize now I should be saying this. if you're using paint, do not wear your banner. I refuse for this show to be the reason that someone's banner gets ruined. That would be so sad. I would like actually cry. Okay. We are nearing roughly the end. We're a lot further along than I was anticipating, which is a fantastic surprise. Because I was like, I don't know when I'm going to like how I'm going to be able to gauge, like, oh, okay, let me cut off here and start with our melting portion, which the melting portion, I will say, I am going to mute myself for, so you guys aren't just hearing like the whirring of my hair dryer. So hopefully in the editor, because after these streams happen, I can save them as essentially videos on my YouTube channel. Hopefully that works in my favor in the fact that I'll be able to like go in and just speed through it, like make that like a sped up little segment. And so it's like, oh yeah, we're doing this together, but also you're not having to watch me hair dry a piece of paper. That would be an awesome live stream. Watch me hair dry a piece of paper. Yes. Every person's dream, honestly. See, this is blue-green. Sure, let's have a blue-green camera. Ooh, that's a pretty blue. Where was that this whole time? Come on, man. I wouldn't call it blue-green. And that's okay. And that is okay. I'm going to use that here. On this little surfboard for this little ducky. Yeah, he's awesome. Okay. Then I'm going to actually use that on this pail because there's like a little sandcastle turret and a bucket with a little trowel in it. So I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, that's cute. I need to color that flag. Let's give it a... No, there's so much purple there. Let's give it an orange flag. Actually, no, let's give it a red flag. That's what I always associate little like sandcastles with, but I don't think I've ever seen someone like go out of their way to bring a little flag for their sandcastle. As awesome as that would be. 64 plum. What was I about to color? This was what I was about to color. Yes, indubitably, indubitably. I don't know if this is like a scuba diving light, but I'm going to color the lens and the handle and call that golden. Gonna be golden. Okay. Then I'm gonna do these flip-flops towards the bottom. Give them this color. Ooh, yeah, let's do black and white flip-flops. Someone's mom's flip-flops. Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I just have the radio left, so I'm gonna color that really quick. And then the words. What color do we think I should do the words in? I don't know. Drop in chat. Drop in chat what color we think I should do words in. I'm coloring this radio. I was going to say, we'll talk about this. And it was like hoping if I started talking like that, it would lead me into pastel blue. That's a good suggestion. I do fear with these crayons, it is incredibly difficult to get light shades. But I could play with the different shades of blue I have. That could be really fun. That'd give kind of beach day, yeah. Like alternating what shade of blue I use where, and just kind of letting it be a mishmash, even if it doesn't look pretty and perfect. All right. I lost the crayon I was wanting. I have a singular black crayon somewhere on this countertop. Aha, I found it. Don't worry, guys. Okay. Coloring that. I actually forgot to color the little inner tube that this ducky is on. I'm going to give him a little green inner tube. Since I didn't focus my attention on one area of each coloring page, it's showing a lot. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm almost done. And then I'll look and I'm like, oh wait, there's this one little area that needs this thing and this thing. Purple dot. Okay, no, purple dot isn't working. We'll just color fully. Oh yeah, that's cute. This might be one of my favorite coloring pages we've done on here so far, actually. All right. I'm just coloring the water ripples around one of our little ducky friends. And then I have just the words left. So I'm going to grab this blue and this blue and this blue and this blue. Where's my blue green? Yeah, there's my blue green. I think I'm going to do the H in this for sure. I kind of want to do it all. Nah, we're going to do the hello in blues and the summer in not greens. What? Yellows and oranges. There we go. Slightly different color than I was intending to say, but that's okay. Sorry, I am so locked in right now. Very much in the home stretch here of a quite cute page. I'm going to make sure to cover these letters in a lot of crayon. So then there's something for hairdryer to work with. I mean, there's definitely already something for it to work with, but you know. Okay. Well, that was the wrong color. That's okay. Okay. Perfect. And then I'm going to summer, a nice orange. Oh, that's cute. You know, when I was a kid, I actually used to really dislike the red-orange crayon. It just really frustrated me because I felt like it was never the color I wanted, because I would grab it wanting orange, and then it would be a lot more red than I was hoping for. Which, when you think about it, it's like not really that big a deal. But, you know, sometimes to a kid, that can feel like a lot. And then red orange again. I think I'm going to wait to do the grand reveal of the page with all of the coloring I have after the melting portion. But I am going to take a picture of the before, so then we can compare it on my social media later. Oh yeah, this is fun. Okay. Gonna do some like artsy framing here with all the crayons I already have out, because like might as well, since there's so many, you know? All right. And picture. Now it's time for the fun part. I did not think this through. Luckily, I'm still in frame. So I am actually going to condense my crayon-based mess a little bit so I don't accidentally get melted wax all over my mom's counters. Okay. Sorry, just double checking what time we're at. Okay. Hey, I think that was my first Let's See of the episode, and I was like, while I was cleaning up. Wow. Hey guys, look, I'm improving. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay. Now, I am going to hair dry this. So what that means for you guys is I am going to mute myself while I work on that. And I will talk to you in a second. Ta-ha. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so with that being said, the melting process didn't work quite how I intended. However, I did think of a new idea for another attempt at something similar, but for the time being, here is today's coloring sheet in all of its glory. If you colored along at home, I hope you had a really good time. Please make sure to tag me in whatever you colored if you post it. I would love to see your work. But yeah, we got all of our cutie little duckies and our beach scenery. But with that being said, I will see you guys next week with our very special guest. I hope you have an amazing evening, an amazing week. Remember to stay creative and be kind to yourself. And I shall see you guys in the next episode. Bye!